Good morning students, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see what is a software and how many types of softwares do we use. Okay, this lecture is specifically for class 11 students according to their first chapter, that is computer system overview. So we have already covered the other significant topics in our lesson. Today we are going to see what is a software and what are its different types. So let's begin. As you can see over here, we have software. First thing is what is a software? What is a software? So as we all know that software is a set of programs. What is a program? Program is a set of instructions. So we use set of instructions in order to perform a definite task. If you have a specific task, you will use these set of instructions to perform a definite task. Okay, so that task could be, it could vary from a number of different categories. Like some tasks could be managing your computer, the hardware, okay, dealing with the hardware. Some tasks could be performing all sorts of spreadsheet activities like statistical analysis and all. Some tasks could be word processing, some tasks could be database management, and likewise there could be different tasks, and depending upon the different tasks you can have different set of instructions in those, and you will not be working with a single program but a set of programs, that a collection of programs, and a collection of related programs where programs are related, that is they are trying to accomplish a specific task. There it becomes a software, because then what happens is all the different modules within that software, they are actually working for accomplishing one type of task. If we take the case of a very common software like MS Word, we all know that MS Word, or simply known as Word, this is a word processing software. What is a word processing software? A software which is used for performing all sorts of textual activities. Activities involving processing text or anything which is made out of alphanumeric values. If I say alphanumeric values, it will mean capital A to Z, small a to Z, digits 0 to 9, and are special symbols. It could be all these things. So you will have alphanumeric values, that is capital A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9, and special symbols. For example, you create a resume. You print a biodata. Biodata and resume are two different things. Biodata can be used for a variety of purposes. Okay, for getting a job, biodata is not very effective when it comes to job hunting, but it could be used for various other things, various other uses also, like for purposes of marriage, for letting anybody know about your personal information, everything. And resume is basically created with respect to job hunting. Then drafting any letters, whether formal, informal, applications, okay, notes, typing, any type of notes you want to type, creating simple invites, simple posters, and any other textual activity can be done using a word processor. So all the different programs which have been used by a word processor like Word will be containing modules or will be containing programs which handle each of these things, that is processing data. Now what all features could be there with a word processor? Let's see. We could have features like formatting text. We could have features like editing text. We could have features like printing data or printing text. So, and many other things which we will be studying exclusively when we study about application softwares. So, let us switch over to our main topic, that is software and its types. So you already know what a software is. Let us first see how many categories is software classified into. So we have software here. First type of software is the system software. Second type of software is the application software. Next is custom software. And the last of all is utility software. So we have these four basic types of software: system software, application software, custom software and utility software. Out of which the most important one is the system software. Why? Because a system software does the work of communicating with hardware. It communicates with the bare hardware of your device. Take for example a case where you purchase a computer, a bare machine, and you bring it home and you just connect it with the electricity. What will happen? Will your computer work in that case? No, absolutely no, because it doesn't have anything to drive it, right? A train cannot move without its engine. So here your software is like an engine for your bare hardware, which helps in driving your device. Driving the hardware. It drives the hardware. It makes the hardware work. Okay. So for communicating with the hardware, we need a special type or special category of softwares known as system softwares, and these softwares actually act as an interface between us users and the bare hardware of your computer. So they are like an interface. Okay, take the example. Let's take a simple example, that is, if you have a car at home and you have purchased the car recently, but there is nobody to drive the car. Nobody knows how to drive the car. What will you do? There are a number of possibilities. Some students will say that he would, what is the need of driving a car? We can drive a bike. So still for riding a bike also, you need a very important person known as the driver. Somebody who knows how to drive that. And even if you say, somebody will still say, some of you will still say that okay, no problem, we could switch to public conveyance. So do you think that public conveyance only works on its own? No, public conveyance also needs someone known as a driver. So you need a driver there also. So if you have a driver, so that driver is actually compared with your system software. Something which helps your computer run, something which helps your computer work. Okay, so all those type of softwares are known as system softwares which help the computer to work. Let us see system software types in detail. So when we talk about system software, we come across several things, like for example, number one, you have your operating system. Number 2, you have language processors. And number 3, you have device drivers. So we have these 3 things here: operating system, language processors, and device drivers. Operating system is the very important part. You have already seen, like Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, Mac. These all are examples of operating systems which enable your computer to work. Okay, that is, it helps your computer to communicate with you, right? You give commands, you give instructions and data, and what your excuse me, what your operating system does is it executes those commands. Okay, you give a command for creating a file or a folder. So what will happen? Your operating system will take the name of the file from you. It will also take the path from you, and it will actually send instructions to its underlying programs in order to save this in your hard disk. Okay, so this type of task can be done using operating system. So modern operating systems provide us a varied plethora of different things, different facilities, like you can create files, save files, organize them in folders. Then it provides basic things like text editors, a support for your application programs. So, and various other tasks like data management, data or file management, input-output management, recovery, okay, failure control, and various other such facilities are provided by your operating system. Next, we come to our topic, that is language processors. So when we say language processors, already we will be studying this in detail in our next section. So here I am just going to give you a gist. Language processors are your modern day compilers, interpreters, and used in the olden days, that is assemblers. So the basic task, now although their tasks are very complicated in itself, so we are not going into the details right now because already we will be studying it as a separate section. So here just I will give you a gist. We know that our computer understands what? Binary language. But we understand the human language, that is English, Hindi and all. So what happens is these language processors, they act as translators. You travel to a foreign country and you don't know the language of that country. So what will you do? You will be either forced to learn the language of the country, or you will carry a translator with you who will be translating your words into the local language. So here these translators, they do the work of converting your language, the instructions which you give in your language, to the language of the computer, known as machine language, and vice versa also. That is the result which is obtained after processing, that is also again converted back into your simple English language. Apart from this, you have the device drivers. You purchase a new printer from the market and you attach it to your computer. Will your printer start working automatically? No, you have to install a software for that, which is known as a device driver. So all the different devices which we use, whether it is a pen drive, whether it is a printer, a CD drive, or any other device which you install or plug into your computer, you have to install its associated software, which is like a controller for this device. So this device driver is actually a controller software which communicates with these devices. It takes commands from you, the user gives commands, and the device driver interprets those commands and sends signals to your actual device. That is, it makes the device work. Okay, so you give a command to print to the printer, so the printer's driver, the printer's software will take that command, interpret that command and send it to the printer to carry out the task. So these type of softwares which you just saw, they come under the category of system software. Next type of software are the application softwares. The application softwares they perform a multitude of tasks. That is, there are varied number of tasks which they can perform. Word processing, second spreadsheet applications, database management, DTP, that is desktop publishing, graphics and multimedia, and various other such activities, accounting softwares, and many others. So what actually these softwares are? They need a platform to work, and that platform is provided by your operating system. Until and unless you have an operating system installed on your computer, you cannot run application softwares. Application softwares need the platform known as operating system. So first, when you purchase a new computer, you will first install Windows on it or Mac operating system on it, and then depending upon your requirement, you can install, say, the Office package, that is MS Office. Then you may think that you should also install an accounting package like Tally. You need to do a lot of database applications, so you can install Oracle 11G on your system. So this way, these all types of softwares are known as what? Application softwares, or the short form for apps. Your smartphone also contains various apps. Okay, so those all are application softwares, and the main Android or iOS which is working, that is your operating system. Now, talking about the different categories, again when we break all those categories into separate sections, we will be studying it over there. Right now, this is just the overview which you are getting. The third category of software is known as custom software, also known as tailor-made software. Now, what are custom software, students? You might have seen that when you visit a bank, the bank employees are using a specialized software known as banking software or bank management system. In your school, they are using a student management software or a student management system. The type of software used by by airports for airline reservations or railway reservations by railway stations. So these softwares are not available everywhere. You have to contact a software firm for them, for these, and you have to pay them a lot of money so that they can custom made or tailor make the software. Why tailor made? See, when you purchase a dress, you go to the market, there are two options. Either you buy a ready-made dress or you get it tailor stitched. So you just, for the second option, you just purchase the dress material, you get yourself measured for your different vital stats, and what you do is you place an order with the tailor so that the tailor could stitch a dress according to your vital stats, that is your measurements, right? And other one is ready-made, that is it is already available in the market. So when we talk about ready-made software, you may nowadays many of these softwares are also available as general purpose software, that is if you want you can download it and use it, but you will have to pay some money for using that. Now application softwares also all are not free of cost, some are free of cost and some are paid. So we will discuss that later. So here also you can see all these type of softwares, you need to contact a software firm for that, and that software firm will tailor make the software according to your requirements. Then we have the last category, that is utility software. All those softwares which are they can be also placed in the category of system softwares and sometimes application softwares. So they are utility softwares. So what is the task of utility softwares? They basically do the work of managing your computer and handling certain tasks, like they could be antivirus operation, that antivirus softwares, compression softwares like WinZip and all. Antivirus we can say Quick Heal, AVG, Norton. These all are examples of antivirus softwares. Compression software like 7-Zip, WinZip, and then you have disk defragmenter. You have PC Doctor, speed enhancing softwares. So all these type of various, there are many other tasks which are there, which we will again be discussing in its dedicated section. So all these utility softwares are, they perform certain operations, very small operations, and only one type of task. That is, antivirus does the work of your removing virus, detecting and removing virus from your computer. Compression softwares do the work of compressing large files so that they are easy to transfer over the internet. Disk defragmenter is used for collecting scattered parts of the same file from your entire disk and compacting them at one location so that the amount of time required for accessing those files is reduced. PC Doctor, Speed Enhancer, and various other such softwares are there, which we would be taking up one by one in our dedicated sections for each of them. So we end today's offline class over here. Thank you everyone.
Maybach music. Can anybody out there